you press start.
Okay, it should be streaming right now. I mean, this thing, what's that?
I'm going to look and see where it would show up. Okay, I don't know where I would find it right now.
It's not showing up.
I mean,
Hope it's not showing up on mine. Let me see here. Should be.
I don't know who's playing the music.
Here, I found a link. Hold on.
Video URL.
So I have a video URL that it created for it. I can send that to you. You sent it to him? Can I type that in there? Alright, good. Good. Okay, and you can rename it from there? You can see it? Okay. And then we can send out this direct link. I think he just texted it to you.
I sent a picture of it.
I can double check that link and make sure it goes direct.
Yeah, we'll use that for Twitter and social media and everything.
Perfect.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm listening. I can hear you. All right. Thanks, Chris. My AD is the most awesome AD in the WPIAL.
See you, Chris. Bye. Thanks. All right, what's that link?
There we go.
Thank you.
Oh, it's gonna be fine as long as Bernard doesn't put smack around. I mean, I brought the plug. It said to unplug it because it was charged, but I don't know if keeping it plugged in will help with the signal. Please remove power. If we start getting the thing again, we're gonna try this. You rock, girl.
Thanks for the encouragement. She's like, let her try. So he's going to rename it, so don't touch any of that.
Alright, so the one that's on the picture here is like if I put that in a... I'm already set up, so...
Will it still come up as Penn Hills Network?
No,
it's going on.
Trib High School.
No, you don't record anything. Just let the thing play. We're not gonna start recording until game time.
Okay.
But they're getting the feed. But once we start recording, we're gonna feed it on the disc, and we can just run the thing the whole time. And then probably not till maybe sometime Sunday. I'm not gonna have time tomorrow. I can't anyways. 24 hours.
You'll put it on there.
I'll just like remember we talked about play it back.
So are they showing anybody showing it live?
Trip High School Sports Network.
Or no, it was something that was actually jet skiing.
Can you put your password in? I want to get that link again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, I remember that.
goes out again and you need in there.
I was watching a preseason game this year in the NFL, and there was 5 penalties on the same play. There was 4 against one team, 1 against the other, and it all came offset. And the ref started laughing like while he was going through the whole thing because he like forgot. He's like, illegal block.
Says video unavailable.
That's because I was probably not broadcasting.
I know one team was going against it. I didn't see that should have said.
Yeah, grab this thing though. It's definitely. There we go.
I am doing actually. Is that that case? No. I would guess. Case Western. What's the? I know. Yeah. I saw that like 4 of their linemen are like conference players or their offensive linemen, so I'm guessing that they pretty much got it off the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he's been around for years. They have a lot of them out there.
I know. I told her that she should do it. She did it.
Really good. Yeah. He started.
See, I knew.
Did you hear that engineering
It's set up.
I warned him I wasn't tech savvy.
Grove City? He had to retire.
You got enough space over there?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
There's
can't
an
go.
article today about his brother. He's like, oh, well,
Like, I keep typing that into my browser,
I'm
but
not
it
going to let
won't
that
work.
affect me.
And it wasn't even like a big.
Oh, well, he found it.
Right.
I think he just like he hit his head off the turf and wasn't like.
Right. Yeah, that's sad. I think he was just a sophomore, right? Because he played in the championship game 2 seasons ago.
That worked. Samsung just sucks. The only thing is it says Central versus Bethel Park.
Is that does it have to be cap and small?
Yeah.
Big Y. Big T. Right, that's a little T. Big T. G. U.
That's just.
Let's see. Penn Hills versus Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
So that's the link you want to put on all your tweets. So it goes directly to that video and not to the post.
Julio. How's not gonna be down doing the game doing that?
They're on camera if they are. You may tell them when they go out.
Well, see the crowd mic right there?
Yeah, I'll tell those kids as I leave. They gotta go.
Tweet that.
I'm about to.
gonna say UTU.
That's just how the link works.
Okay.
Yeah. I brought like this pair, and then I brought like one of those pairs from the league.
I assume has a pair, and then I was thinking about getting her these.
I didn't take them with me. One put it out there.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. She's gonna roll inside of those.
It's all on Twitter.
Okay.
Yes, and this.
But they retweeted our.
Nice. Perfect.
So it starts
Test these.
Ladies and gentlemen, as this is Veterans Day weekend, we would like to thank all of our veterans for their service and their commitment to our country. Fans from Penn Hills and Central Catholic, let's give all veterans a nice round of applause on Veterans Day weekend. Thank you for all you do, veterans. WPIAL UPMC Sports Medicine Championship. Your opinion history was the event. Title we enjoy exhibition skills developed by the students in an educational setting. By meeting the challenge of sportsmanship in the stand,
Gotta get all that.
providing a sound example for the
Just tell her to
students,
call me if there's
as
any
well as
issues.
representing your company, school, dignity, and pride. Please give the student athletes involved your positive encouragement and support. The WPIAL wishes everyone a positive, exciting, and meaningful championship experience. And remember the WPIAL motto, sportsmanship. The only missing piece is you. Ladies and gentlemen, rebroadcast or reproduction of this event without express written consent to the WPIAL is prohibited. UPMC Sports Medicine has the expertise to help the athletes of all levels get back into the game and perform their best. In fact, no other program treats as many student athletes. To learn more, visit UPMCSportsMedicine.com.
And welcome to continuing coverage of the 2017 WPIAL football playoffs here on the Triple-A High School Sports Network. As tonight from Fox Chapel High School, we bring to you the 6A semifinals between number 2 Pittsburgh Central Catholic and number 6 Penn Hills. I'm Sean Myers along contrasting styles, to say the least. Penn Hills, a team that really is predicated on an explosive passing attack, playmakers all over the field on offense. On the other side, Central Catholic, maybe not the star-studded lineup we've seen from the Vikings, but still a team that can play some great defense, is good on special teams, and will have to grind out yards on offense.
Yeah, they're very good on defense, and that's something that Terry Totten and his staff had to hang their hat on this year, because they couldn't have that. Yards quick, which he's had in the past. But, everybody just kind of forgot about him maybe, and all of a sudden they're the number 2 seed in 6A, and they're running after how many hundreds of games had a really grind out in the first round. It's not to improve about, as we said, about 5 or 6 receivers that can really do something when they get the ball in space. But watch their kicking game, because I had the pleasure of watching their offense. The kicking game is not what you would want in terms of trying to get after the championship. So a solid kicking game. When we say kicking game, we don't just mean extra points and field goals and such. We mean field position, which is going to be a big part of the game. I really believe
from Fox Chapel High School Stadium tonight, the WPIAL Semifinals between the Central Catholic Vikings and the Penn Hills Indians. A very pleasant good evening to you. I'm Bill Navari. Great to have you along here on the Trib High School Sports Network and the Penn Hills Indians Football Network. Tonight, the number 2 seed. On our side, they were the number 3 seed. And the number 6 seed. Vikings and the Indians. A rematch of a Week 9 Northern Severn Conference game. Central Catholic topped the Indians 21-0, but both teams got battles in their first round as Central Catholic beat Peters Township 27-20, and Penn Hills edged Bethel Park last week 30-28 behind a big play offense. The Indians scored on their first play of the first half and the first offensive play of the second half. Central Catholic is the 2-time defending WPIAL champs, and they're looking for their 5th straight trip to Heinz Field. On the other side, the Indians making their first semifinal appearance since 2008 and looking for their first trip to Heinz since 2006 when they lost to Upper St. Clair. Central Catholic features the second-best defense in 6A. They hold opponents to 17 points per game, while both teams have offenses averaging 30 points per game. The Vikings have been led by dual-threat quarterback Troy Fisher, who has thrown for 1,200 yards and 17 touchdowns, and has rushed for 259 yards and 8 TDs. Last week, Fisher threw for 181, got 2 touchdowns, and ran for 2 more scores to lead the Vikings past Peters. Central has utilized a running back by a committee approach this season. Khalil Weathers, a D1 recruit, at cornerback, is the team's leading rusher with 445 yards and 5 TDs. However, last week it was Dontre Jones filling in for the injured Weathers, who will not be playing tonight.
He stole the show with 117 yards on the ground. The Indians have an explosive offense with one of the top passers in the WPIAL in Hollis Mathis. He's thrown for over 2,300 yards, has 26 touchdowns. Indians boast a pair of receivers in Daquan Hardy, number 1, Dante Cephas, number 11, and Julian Majors, the Michigan State recruit, number 7. The receivers averaging 22 yards per reception. Penn Hills has relied on the tandem of Tank Smith, who's picked up 629 yards on the season, and Tim Smith, who's picked up 414. The Indians' offense has been very hot and cold this year, scoring over 30 in all but one of their wins and being held under 17 in all of their losses. Last week, the Indians, it was an on week, as Mathis threw for 235 with 3 touchdowns. Cephas accounting for 96 yards in 2 of those touchdowns. And Tank Smith ran for 96 and 1 touchdown. A nifty scamper up the sideline where Bethel Park wasn't able to get him out. It was a 68-yarder. Penn Hills is going to need to solve Central's stingy defense if they want to reach their first championship game in over a decade. We'll be getting underway here shortly. If you see the teams on the field, the Indians on the far side, the red helmets, the white jerseys, and the gold pants. Vikings on the near side of the field with the blue helmets, blue jerseys, and white pants. Football weather has finally found us here in western Pennsylvania. We've been fortunate most of the year with great weather to watch the WPIAL football games. Tonight, it is definitely playoff weather. Cold. It's set a record cold tonight. But when you're still playing, and it's the middle of November, the weather sure doesn't matter. You just want to keep on going. Indians will receive the opening kickoff. They'll be moving left to right. Central Catholic coming into this contest 9-2. The Indians at 8-3.
Approaches the football, and we are underway at Fox Chapel High School.
And we are off. Sears from the 16 cuts it back to the near side across the 25, the 30. Indians will get nice field position start decently at their own 32. Indians, I'm sure, would like to get things started the way they did last week. They threw a little screen pass to Daquan Hardy. And the Indians took it for a touchdown. Mathis has Tim Smith behind him. It will be Tim Smith going left side. Sees a sea of blue in front of him, and I don't think he even gets back to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't. Tim Smith will lose 2 yards on the Indians' first play from scrimmage here in this contest. Smith really had nowhere to go. Central Catholic closed up the lanes rather quickly. And the Indians looking at a 2nd down and 12. Mathis will throw, spins left side. Oh, over the head and the hands. Daryl Mason is going to bring up a 3rd down and 12 for the Indians. Central Catholic doing a nice job of putting the pressure on Mathis on the play. Mathis had to throw a bit high to get over the rush, to get the ball over the rush, and it just was unable to connect with Mason, who had some room in the flat had he received the football, but they were unable to connect. Now on 3rd and 12, trips to the near side, wide receiver screen to Hardy. Hardy gets across the 35, out to the 40-yard line. Will be short of the 1st down. Picks up about 9. But it'll be 4th down for the Indians. Indians, I think, punted 1 time last week at Bethel Park. That was late in the game. Indians line, drive, kick, will hit at the 25. Take an Indian roll inside the 20. Indians there to cover. Central Catholic unable to return. The ball will roll down and go dead at the 15-yard line. Nice punt by Dan Mason. Excuse me, Daryl Mason. Central Catholic back at their own 15-yard line. 10:21 to go here in the opening quarter. We are scoreless, Penn Hills and Central Catholic. Now Central Catholic, their first opportunity with the football. Troy Fisher in the shotgun. Central keeps it on the ground. No surprise there. Tank Smith will come up and stop Dontre Jones for no gain. Fisher fakes to Jones, rolls to his right, loses his footing, has pressure at the 5, gets the pass away. Incomplete. It was intended out in the flat for David Green. But there were 3 Indians around him. Unfortunately for Central Catholic, the ball hit the turf instead of being picked off by the Indians, who had clear sailing the 25 yards into the end zone. So now a 3rd and 10 for the Vikings. Again, the Vikings without. Fisher will keep it himself. Tries to get to the outside. And we'll have the first down. The Indians were not able to catch him from behind. He will pick up about 12 on the play, and it will be a first down for the Vikings. The Indians were hot on his tail, but they were unable to capture him before he got over that first down marker. So now a fresh set of downs for the Vikings at their own 28-yard line. Chris Vigliotti to the left of Fisher in the pistol. Fisher under pressure from Damian Brady. Gets a pass deep, and it's almost picked off. In and out of the hands of Tim Smith at the 50-yard line. He was waiting for it to come down. And the ball just went off his hands. And again, another break for the Vikings. That's 2 that was almost picked off so far, and both of Fisher's passes so far here in this drive. Clock stops, 9:33 to go here in the opening quarter. Scoreless, Penn Hills, Central Catholic.
2.5 minutes into this first quarter, still no score between Central Catholic and Penn Hills. Fisher with the sidecar to his right, takes the snap.
Fisher, quarterback draw right into the arms of Damian Brady, who will sack him back inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. Brady was there quickly. As soon as Fisher pulled that ball out of Jones on the play fake, Brady was right there to just swarm over Fisher. It'll be 3rd and 14 from the 24-yard line. Fisher gets the play call. 3 receivers to the right. Slot back to the near side. Marco Marchionda. Fisher with the straight drop. Looking, throws, right side. And the pass is picked off by the Indians. Daquan Hardy at the 43-yard line. The Indians will start in Central Catholic territory. Fisher put that one up. And the Indians were able to haul it in this time. This was the 4th attempt by Fisher, all of which were almost picked off. And the Indians will take over at the 42-yard line. Now will the Indians be able to capitalize on the break given to them by the Vikings? Full house backfield for the Indians. They'll go Wildcat. Mathis will go out to the left. And they're going to pitch it back to Mathis. Is he going to throw? Looking downfield, he does. Has a man, and a pass caught inside the 30-yard line. Rick Martin had to come back. Indians pick. So the Vikings will get the ball back right where they were at the 24-yard line. But to mark him at the 25. And the Indians unable to capitalize.
Territory. Dodging a bullet. Penn Hills had ideal starting field position. Fisher out of the gun.
Fisher out of the gun. Play action. Rolls to his right. Throws back. Tries to set up the screen right side, and the Indians are there. They'll pick up a couple of yards out to David Green.
That time for Penn Hills by Jaquay Sears. Semifinals in the 6A classification.
Fisher again looking to get the play call from the sideline. 10 seconds on the play clock. Jones will come near side into the arms of some waiting Indians. Deshaun Butler with the tackle, amongst others. No gain for Jones. It brings up a 3rd down and 8. Well, Central's going to throw. It's been a dangerous thing for them so far in the half. 4 passes, 1 picked off. The other 3 almost picked off.
3 receivers eventually make their way to the far side of the field. 1 to the near side. Fisher to operate out of the pistol.
Indians jump off sides.
Might be offsides on Penn Hills.
Indians trying to time the snap. Gives Central Catholic a free 5 yards. Fisher keeps it himself. We'll have the 1st down. Leaps over an Indian across the 45, the 50, in Indian territory and ridden out of bounds at the Indian 45-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup for Fisher. And a 1st down for the Vikings. David Green, the up back. Jones behind Fisher. An offset pistol. Jones comes near side. Mason, the first man there to hit him. He might get a yard out of it. Central Catholic, 2 first downs in this quarter, both on runs by Troy Fisher. 2nd down and 9, Vikings at the Indian 44-yard line. It's Jones to Fisher's right, and they'll do the trickeration, do the Vikings throwback pass, and the Indians are right there, and they lose the football, the Indians will fall on it. They threw it back to Fisher, he caught it, he got hit, fumbled the football. And the Indians were able to fall on it. So the Indians will take over at the 44, at their own 44-yard line. 2nd turnover of the quarter for the Vikings. Indian offense back on the field. Mathis with Tim Smith behind. And it will be Tim Smith. Gets tripped in the backfield. Had a hole, but somebody got the paw in under the pile. And Smith will lose a yard. And it'll be 2nd and 11 for the Indians.
Starting offensive line for Penn Hills, Deshaun Butler, Roland Phillips, George Freeman, Christian Weiss, and Elijah Robinson. Left to right as Mathis hands off this time to Smith.
Tim Smith gets the yardage back. That's about it. Lost one, gets one, and the Indians will have a 3rd and 10. Indians 3rd and long. Mathis with the straight drop, looking over the middle, has a man. Harding to pass out of his hands. He took a shot just as the ball got there from Camden Laconey. And the Indians will punt again. 3 turnovers here in this first quarter. We're still scoreless. Penn Hills, Central Catholic, 4:36 remains. High kick. Take the Vikings back to the 24-yard line. Laconey looks for somewhere to go and is able to get back to where he started, maybe to the 25. And that'll be it. So Central Catholic starting deep again at their own 25-yard line. I'd like to mention a sponsor on our Penn Hills Network side, helping us out this week. Especially like to thank Sembar Meixel Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call for all your plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and remodeling needs. 412-241-0195. Fisher with the play action. Under pressure from Brady. Gets away from the one on Brady. Passes, has a man wide open. And that'll be a touchdown for the Vikings. Fisher connects with Corey Thomas, who goes 75 yards. He was one-on-one with Rick Martin and had a big step on him. Central to try the point after.
6-0 in favor of Central Catholic, looking to make
Jonathan Opalco will try out of a Dominic Pieto hold. Kick is up. Kick is good. 4:14 to go, first quarter. Central Catholic 7, Penn Hills nothing on the Trib High School Sports Network.
Semifinals here.
So the Central Catholic scoring drive, one play, 75 yards. Corey Thomas, 75-yarder from Fisher. So now Central Catholic to kick off for the second time here in this contest. Sears from his 14-yard line goes left, tries to get the block, and does. Across the 30, the 35. And Central Catholic will close in on him and bring him down at the 37-yard line. Indian offense had one drive going, but that ended in a Tank Smith fumble. Central Catholic with 2 turnovers here in the quarter. And then following a Penn Hills Indian punt, Central Catholic goes 75 yards to Corey Thomas. And they have the 7-0 lead with 4:05 to go here in the opening quarter. Hollis Mathis split to the near side. Smith from the Wildcat. And Central Catholic is right there. And he'll get dropped down back at the 32-yard line for a loss of 6. It was like Central Catholic was in on the huddle. So the question coming in was, will the Indians be able to solve the Central Catholic Viking defense? Thus far, they have not. They've had one big play.
30.8. So the Vikings do have a slight edge in terms of point production as a pistol formation for Mathis. Takes a snap, stands in the pocket.
Mathis, left side. Mason across the 40-yard line. This will not be brought down. Carries Vikings out across the 45. They're going to mark him down at the 40. Where they mark him? At the 45.
Actually, Mason, the tight end.
They'll pick up 13. Mathis keeps it himself. Vikings were right there. He'll lose a yard. And the Indians are going to go 3 and out once again. The Indian offensive line has just not been matching up well so far with the front men of the Viking defense. Daryl Mason back to punt again for the Indians.
Hoping he wouldn't have to do it this much early on, but relatively effective.
Third punt already for the Indians. This one
Mason high, very short. It will take a Viking bounce, and the Indians fall on it at the 44-yard line. A 13-yard net punt for the Indians. The Vikings will have great field position with 2:24 to go here in the opening quarter. Ball at their own 44-yard line. Jones trying to find the lane left side and does. Across the 50 in Penn Hills territory. Spins out of a tackle. Gets inside the 40-yard line of the Indians. They'll mark him out at the 40. Picks up 16. Nice run by Dontre Jones. And a first down for the Vikings. Jones again, same play, right side. And he'll get down close to the 30-yard line to the 29, or excuse me, the 31. Picks up 8. That looks like second and about 2 yards to go here for the Vikings.
Two receivers to the far side of the field. Fisher out of the pistol. Jones behind him. Now he'll look to the near sideline.
Troy Fisher looks to the sideline, gets a play call. 13 seconds on the play clock. They have twin receivers to the right. Fisher under pressure from Brady, and he'll be sacked.
Stays on his feet initially, powers forward. He's going to be brought down. Brady again was the first play.
Damon Brady has been all over defenses here in the playoffs.
Getting a little bit better field position by moving forward instead of taking a massive loss.
So now instead of 2nd and 2, it's 3rd and 4. Fisher did a nice job to fight off the sack and work his way back towards the line of scrimmage, but he did pick up 2 yards. Excuse me, before the sack, only lost 2. Indians will call a timeout. 56 seconds to go. First quarter, 7-0 Vikings. You're watching the Trib High School Sports Network.
Playoff football, it's right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Alongside Johnny Lee for this 6A semifinals game at Fox Chapel. Central Catholic holding a 7-0 lead, facing a 3rd and 3 ball.
Following the timeout, Central Catholic with a 3rd and 3. They're at the Indian 32-yard line. Fisher keeps it himself. Loses the football, picks it up himself. It's still on the field. And finally, Troy Fisher does fall on it at the 26-yard line.
Picked up the first down, then lost the handle. He got back on this football. He is double lucky.
Fortunate for the Vikings that Fisher was able to fall on it. Cold weather out there. These kids having trouble holding on to the football. But it does result in a first down for the Vikings. Receiver each way for the Vikings. Pistol formation. That's Vigliotti to Fisher's left. Jones deep, and that'll be Jones who gets the football. Jones will get inside the 20-yard line down about the 19. He'll pick up about 7 yards. Nice blocking by the Vikings, able to open the lane for Jones to the left side. Again, the Indians are closing. They're getting close, getting hands on the jerseys, but they're just unable to get them down. And Jones was able to pick up the 7 yards. Now the Vikings with a 2nd down and 3. The clock stopped as Jones went out of bounds with 12 seconds. And now he's at the end of 1. The score, the Central Catholic Vikings 7, the Penn Hills Indians nothing. You are watching the WPIAL semifinals here on the Trib High School Sports Network. Second quarter getting underway. The Vikings with the ball. Jones, left side across the 20. Gets hit at the 20-yard line. Spins ahead. Will be close to the first down. Nice job by Jones. Jermel Ward with the hit.
That is a strong run by the 195-pound Jones.
It's enough to pick up the first down for the Vikings at the 15-yard line. I'll mark it with the 16 for pickup of 3.
Just inside the 16-yard line now. First and 10 for the Vikings. Fisher has a receiver to the near side, one to the far side as well. Sidecar to his left.
Fisher with a straight drop, looks right, throws, has a man underneath, and it's almost picked off by Hardy at the 3. He's looking for Thompson in the end zone. Hardy cut in front, was unable to hold on to it. But once again, a Troy Fisher pass almost intercepted. Fisher's had one completion. That was a 75-yard touchdown pass to Corey Thomas. All other passes that he's thrown have been almost intercepted.
31 seconds into this second quarter. 2 receivers to the near side for Fisher, who will work out of the pistol formation. Fisher takes a snap. Hands off to Jones.
Looks like Jones will work his way down to about the 12-yard line. Kind of submarine, got low. Was able to pick up about 4 yards. So now the Vikings will be looking at a 3rd down and about 6.
Thompson and McConey, the receivers to the near side of the field. Jones sets up behind Fisher and now moves himself to the
Jones
side.
will move up to the left of Fisher, who keeps it himself, goes left side, cuts it back inside. Penalty flag comes in back at the 15-yard, excuse me, the 10-yard line. The holding call will mark the Vikings back to about the 20-yard line. A net loss of 8 yards on the penalty call. Vikings need to get across the 6. They are at the 20. 3rd and 14. Fisher with the play action, straight drop, looking, steps up in the pocket. He's under pressure, comes to the near side, chased, throws into the end zone, and he throws this one away. Thomas was there, but he didn't throw this where anybody was going to be able to catch it. Fisher was running for his life. He had he had Sean Butler chasing him down. It's 5'10", 310-pound Butler. Fourth down for the Vikings. And they're setting up to attempt a 37-yard field goal. Opalco to try the kick. Pieto to hold. The kick is up. And the kick is good. Oh my, 37-yarder for Opalco. Extends the lead for the Vikings. That's a long field goal in high school, and he got it just over the crossbar, and that's all that counts. So with 10:08 to go here in the first half, the Vikings extend the lead. The score of 10-0. 56-yard drive for the Vikings, resulting in the 3 points. More importantly for Central Catholic, it makes it a 2-score game. So the Indian offense will get back on the field so far. 3 and out. 2 and a fumble. 3 and out. 3 and out. Well, 2 weeks ago, the Indians were shut out by the Vikings. And still yet to score on them here tonight. Sears wrapped up, brought down at the 29-yard line.
By the Vikings. Fifth drive of this contest for Penn Hills. This one started with 29. It's the worst starting field position that Penn Hills has had. Constant fumble for the Indians. Two receivers to the far side, one to the near side for
Major and Hardy to Mathis's right. Steps up in the pocket, has a little bit of room, gets across the 30-yard line. And the Indians get a positive play. Mathis ahead for 2. Now it'll be 2nd down and 8. Clock continues to run. 9.5 minutes to go here in half number 1. Vikings 10, Indians nothing. Mathis sets up the screen underneath it. It's almost picked up. Cephas was able to hold on to and get it and dive ahead for a yard. That was almost 6 the other way for the Vikings. How Cephas came out of it with the football and then still managed to gain a yard. So it'll be 3rd down and about 7 for the Indians. Once again, they're in a 3rd and long. Pistol formation for the Indians. We'll throw right side. Donnie Blue catches it and goes down as soon as he gets hit. Only picks up about a yard. In this half is putting a lot of air under the ball, giving Central Catholic time to close. Now Mason will come on to punt once again. Mason, who picked up an offer from Robert Morris University this week. We congratulate him for that. Tank Smith picked up one from Columbia. Nice kick by Mason. It'll send Central Catholic inside the 30-yard line, and right there to bring him down immediately is the Indians' Anthony Grimes. Down at the 25-yard line. Great kick by Mason. Not only is he a great defensive player, excellent tight end, but apparently the kid can punt. What the Indians needed as far as with the help with the field position. Now the Viking offense on the field once again. The Vikings have turned the ball over a couple of times. They've been dangerously close, several others, as far as interceptions, and even able to recover 2 of their own fumbles. They fumbled once and thrown 1 interception. Vigliotti to Fisher's right. Fisher keeps it himself. And picks up maybe 3. Tank Smith on the tackle for the Indians.
Yeah, well, he probably wants to forget about that reception. Porter in on that stop after a pickup of 3 for Fisher. Brings up a 2nd and 7. 28-yard line as Fisher looks to the near sideline.
1 receivers to the near side, and the slot is David Green. Vigliotti will now be to Fisher's left. Have a little pitch to Laconey underneath. He'll get hit, maybe a yard, but he was punished by Jermel Ward and Damian Brady.
Swarming defensively on this place to the outside.
Usually you see the jet sweep where the wide receiver flanker comes in motion and hand him the football. Central Catholic's version is you kind of just pop the football.
3rd down and 6 for the Vikings.
4 wide receivers this time for Central. 2 to the near side, 2 to the far side.
Vikings send twins each way with Viglotti back to protect Fisher.
29-yard line. Fisher drops back.
Fisher Under pressure from behind, gets the pass away to the right, and the pass incomplete. Penalty flags come in. They're going to call a pass interference on the far side. No, it's going to go against the Vikings. The Indians will decline, and Central Catholic will have to punt.
I said it might be pass interference. It's actually against Central Catholic, an eligible man downfield. As a result, that'll be.
So the Indians get the Vikings on a 3-and-out. Now with a chance to get some decent field position. Jordy Boswell and Jaquay Sears back for the Indians.
You are correct, and this is the first time that the Vikings.
And the Vikings will punt for the first time here in this contest. Fisher is the punter, back inside his own 15-yard line. Low, wobbly snap. Fisher gets it away. Sears tried to catch it, bobbled it, lost it, and Mason comes back to fall on it. Nice job by the Indians, Darrell Mason, to keep possession. The Indians will have it at their own 40-yard line. Now the offense definitely needs to try to get something going here. They have not done anything. They've gone 3-and-out on all but one possession. The other possession, they went 2 plays and lost a fumble in the second play. So the Indian offense, which has been hot and cold all season, is right now, as the thermometer reads, cold. Swing pass near side to Smith. Tries to outrun the Viking defense, does a bit across the 40-yard line. A late penalty flag will come in. Penalty flag at the 46-yard line. Usually this would indicate a hold, and it is.
Indeed, it is a hold against the Indians. Back on Penn Hills. At the pistol. He's going with the hard count there, but Central Catholic discipline. No one jumps. Now he gets a snap.
Mathis rolling to his right. A lot of Vikings in pursuit. Throws down the field to right side, and it's almost picked off. Was intended for Martin. Stepping in front of it, but unable to hold on to it, was Gavin Thompson. The Indians a first down. Ball spotted at the 50. First down, Indians. Smith will go in motion to the right. He will get it on the inside handoff on the jet sweep. Inside the 50, inside the 45-yard line, down to the 44. Picks up a nice 6 yards, does Tim Smith.
Bring up a 2nd and 4. More than halfway through this second quarter. It's 10-0 Central Catholic over Penn Hills. John Myers and Johnny Lee on the call. Mathis, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side, has a man in motion, fakes the handoff, now looks over the middle, passes tipped, incomplete.
Mathis over the middle, intended towards Martin, pass tipped, incomplete. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. Vikings almost jump off sides. Mathis with the hard count. Straight drop, right side throws, pass complete. Major will have the first down.
That will be enough for a first down gainer, just beyond the sticks. Major has been quiet pretty much all season. Michigan State committee had just 13 receptions for 135 yards entering play tonight, but largely due to injuries. First and 10 ball
Mathis screenplay near side. Gets hit as he got the pass away. Major will pick up about 4 yards.
He ran right into the teeth of the defense.
Tank goes right side. Picked up maybe 3. Indians will be looking at a 3rd and short. Mathis looks left, gets the pass away, too high for Martin on the near side. Once again, Mathis brings the pass in a little high. Martin was there. It's now 4th and about 4 or 5 yards. The Indians will go for it. Fourth down for the Indians. Mathis throws downfield to pass. Martin hauls it in inside the 15-yard line. He'll pull it down at the 14. That's 19 yards for Rick Martin. Had 2 Central Catholic defensive backs draped all over him, and he was able to come up with it. Clock approaching 3:10 and running to go here in the first half. Central Catholic 10, Penn Hills nothing. Mason will come in motion to the near side. Shuffle pass inside for Mason, and Mason able to pick up 3 yards. They'll get down to the 16. Indians second down from the Viking 11-yard line. Mathis runs for his life to the near side. Looking for some room. And we'll get out of bounds. He'll actually, I don't know if he gets back to the line of scrimmage. I think he'll lose a yard.
Love the fact that Central Catholic brings people off of Paulus Mathis's right side, which forces him to his left.
So the Indians with another 3rd and long, 3rd and about 8. At the 12-yard line, the Indians need to cross the 4 to pick up a first down.
This is probably this drive right here.
He actually lost 2 yards back to the 13 to make it 3rd and 9 for the Indians, and now
And Dawn will call timeout. A very important play here for the Indians. Very crucial drive for the Indians to come out with some points here as they trail by 10 with 2:21 to go in the half. The Vikings will get the ball to start half number 2.
every week on the Trib Live Center Stage, which you can view on our YouTube page. Log on to our website this fall at www.tribhssn.com.
Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsor for tonight, Sembauer Mikesell Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Call Sembauer Mikesell for all your plumbing, heating, air conditioning, remodeling, anything you need that relates to that. Appreciate their support. Their number 412-241-0195. See the Indian cheerleaders on the far side of the field, trying to stay warm. Nice crowd on hand tonight on both sides of the stadiums.
Turnovers for the Vikings, one for the Indians. This frigid Friday night at Fox Chapel High School. This game advances to the championship. And we'll play either North Allegheny or Pine Richland.
Nice shot of the Central Catholic side of the field. Our cameraman Bernard.
Lengthy drive for the Indians began at their 40-yard line. This is now back onto the field. Both these squads, Major splits wide to the far side now.
Major goes wide to the right. Cephas to the left. Hardy
Moves in motion.
goes in motion. Tank Smith up the middle inside the 10.
Over a player, gets inside the 10-yard
Gets
line.
down to the 8-yard line. Picks up 5.
It'll bring up another.
It'll be short of the first down. It'll be 4th down. I think the Indians will keep the offense on the field. They just don't have a kicker. It'll be 4th and 4.
Yeah, they listed as 4. I think it's probably maybe a little bit closer to 3, but nonetheless.
Huge play in the 2017 football season.
Robert Montgomery to the right of Mathis in the pistol with Tank deep. 4th and 4, and once again the Indians will call a timeout. Their 3rd and final one of the half. This is a very crucial play for them. 4th and 4 at the 8-yard line. They need to cross the 4. They trail by 10. Late here in half number 1, the Vikings have kept the Indians scoreless for going on 6 quarters now. After the Indians with their big plays last week to knock off the number 2 seed Bethel Park Blackhawks to get into this week's semifinal matchup here with Central Catholic.
We're thrilled to have them on board. 4th and 4, the Indians have already converted 1 4th down earlier on this drive. Drive began at the 40-yard line on Penn Penn Hills side of the 50, and they were able to convert once. Do you go back to the same play, trying to get it out to Jolene Major in this situation?
You know what? I think you're going to have to try to get Major involved. He's a good receiver, has that advantage. Let's see if you get a
For the large number of you, we can see that are watching our live video stream of tonight's game. We apologize for the buffering issues with the Wi-Fi. Not sure what the interference is. Hopefully we can get that worked out for you. And they're going to call, we can say Dante Cephas moved. Indians will continue to go for it. Instead of 4th and 4, it'll now be 4th and 9.
Remaining in this opening half. It is 10-0 Central Catholic. Penn Hills driving. Mathis with a back behind in the sidecar to his right as well.
Donnie Blue went motion over the middle. Martin, touchdown Penn Hills. Oh, I can't believe he held on to that football. What a catch by Martin.
Looked like he snagged it with one hand initially between 2 defenders.
He had 2 defenders draped over him, stuck a paw out from between them, made the one-handed catch.
Really double coverage in the middle of the end zone, but just a great almost one-handed.
And the Indians end the scoreless streak against the Vikings.
Rifled that one up and grabbed it. That is a huge play for the Penn Hills Indians.
And now Penn Hills likely to go for 2 here, and will do so out of a crazy-looking formation. The entire offensive line offset to the left.
And the Indians do go on a funky play, get the pass up. Cephas gets the reception in. Penalty flag comes in. Have to check the call. If against the Indians, we're going to do it again against Central Catholic.
That was a unique formation to say the least. Hardy was by himself with the entire offense.
It will count.
At the left half.
The way the Indians are reacting.
And it is good.
So the Indians get the 2-point conversion. They got no extra points last week. So the Indians were able to convert this week. 1:32 left here in half number 1. The Indians cut the lead. It's now Central Catholic 10, Penn Hills 8 here on the Trib High School Sports Network.
10-8 Central Catholic over Penn Hills here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Richard.
What was the
Richard.
distance on the touchdown?
Rick. Okay.
What was the distance on the score?
19.
19 yards?
13. 13.
From 219.
Okay, and the two-point conversion went to whom?
11.
Cephas.
Okay, thank you.
That's why we're here. Is this thing on?
No, it's not. It's really frustrating. I don't know. I wonder if there's a knob on the far side. Okay.
Big points.
That'd be awesome.
Indians kicking off from the 50 because the penalty was assessed on the kickoff. Central Catholic returning from the 5. Still gets a nice return out to the 25-yard line.
Martin, a 13-yard reception for Mathis, and then Cephas, a two-point conversion on the throw from
12 plays, 60 yards for the Indians.
8 points, and the Indians certainly got a little creative there to keep that drive going and ultimately cap it off.
Yeah, they had to. The season was kind of teetering there.
So now a 2-point game. 1:25 to go. Vikings have all 3 timeouts left. Let's see what they do, if they can try to go for something or try to run the clock out. They do get the ball to start half number 2. So if they play it safe or if they're going to go for something here. Fisher's throws in the first half have been eventful. And Fisher will throw. Tries to set up the screen near side. Does underneath. And Laconey gets maybe a yard, possibly 2. In fact, no, it gets maybe half a yard. We'll give him a yard called 2nd down and 9. Jones will shift to Fisher's right. Fisher, quarterback keeper. Gets wrapped up by the ankles. Indians will close, still on his feet. Kid just will not go down. Spins out of enough tackles, gets across the 30 to maybe the 31-yard line. We'll give him a pickup of 5. And it'll be a 3rd down and 4. Officials call a timeout and send Damian Brady off. I think he has an equipment issue. Elijah Walker will come in to replace him. 3rd and about 5 for the Vikings. Jones will have the first down, pays for it. Go down at the 43-yard line.
Again on the stop. And now Central Catholic, after picking up a first down, could be a little more aggressive, and Coach Todd chooses to do so.
And the Vikings will use a timeout to use their first of their 3 timeout allotment. So now with the first down out at across the 35 at the 38-yard line, Central Catholic with a little bit more room to move.
They look back at the regular season and they hand out some final football grades. I think Penn Hills probably would be getting an A for the season so far.
So I think we're going to see a lot of Fisher on the quarterback draws. So I said the passing game is, although they did connect on the one pass. That was a 75-yarder to Corey Thomas. I think it's the only pass completion Central Catholic has had in this half. Oh, they had one. They had a throw back to Fisher, which he fumbled and recovered it himself for no gain. Fisher under pressure, sets up the screen. And right there is Daquan Hardy, who will immediately drop Gavin Thompson. They'll lose a yard on the play. Clock running, approaching 20 seconds ago. Central quickly to the line. Central Catholic Vikings 10, the Penn Hills Indians 8. You are watching the WPIAL semifinals here on the Trib High School Sports Network. You can tune in on the Trib High School Sports Network for Don Rebel and the halftime show for all scores around the WPIAL, or you can keep it right here. We'll be showing the bands here at halftime for your enjoyment. Once again, halftime, the score, Central Catholic 10, Penn Hills 8, here on the Trib High School Sports Network.
sounds like you know? That's what makes me go. Yeah, so I got very facility. They were fast. I took the shut the fuck up. I stood up on the bed. I got the door and fall in. I don't know. They won. your 50-50 ticket. Get out your 50-50 ticket. Ticket that gives you $330. Get out your 50-50. The football booster. Thank you for your cooperation. $340 will go to the winner. And if you have the ticket, you will take it to the football concession stand. The winning number 790 7994. Once again, 790 7994. The $320 to the football concession stand. 790 7994.
I need 1 second.
Get on the scoreboard. If it touchdown early on in the third quarter, you're just going to see a lot of telling your offensive line to run this football, keep this clock moving, and try to, I don't want to say escape, just try to get out of here. Penn Hills, I believe, if they take the lead, I really think that they're just going to, they might end up rolling with it.
Yes, it was.
All the stuff was in the bottom.
It was good. It was refreshing. Amazing. John LeJean's first year at Penn Hills. Townsville after that was a long road. He showed sometimes you got to take the hits to get that big time. He was a half. And also, I was thinking during halftime, it would be amazing if they held out and bumped up those field goal. It was the decisive points. 37-yard field goal in pretty much frigid weather. Ball probably went about 38 yards, I think. It just got over the crossbar. Sometimes this game comes down to a matter of inches. So it's going to be interesting. 2-point conversion off that touchdown could loom large. It kind of changes the complexity of the game. I don't think anybody's going to change.
You can go in the coach's room. It's warm in there. Steps.
Hopefully, the
windows are closed. It's jamming up.
So you can go in there and chit-chat. Monster some points here in a second.
I want to let you know that UPMC Sports Medicine is excited to once again be partnering with the WPIAL High School Sports Network on the UPMC State Strong Play On program. Student athletes will be recognized for being dedicated to their teams and are determined to return to play while recovering from an injury. UPMC Sports Medicine will be granting two $1,000 scholarships at the end of the year to athletes who have managed to stay strong and play on. Nominate an athlete today. Click on the Stay Strong and Play On graphic.
Wrong one.
www.tribhssn.triplife.com for details. There wasn't a lot of offensive stats in that first half of play. Almost Mathis for Penn Hills went 9 of 14, but just 78 yards through the air, 1 touchdown. Fisher, conversely, 4 of 10 for an identical 78 yards, 1 touchdown to go with 1 interception. The leading receiver for Penn Hills, Richard Martin, 3 for 45, including the score. Jolie Major, 2 for 9. Terrell Mason, 1 for 13. Dave Hardy, 1 for 9. On the other side, Cameron Coney, 2 for 3. Corey Thomas, 1, but it's a big 175-yard touchdown. Gavin Thompson, 1 for 0. The running game, not much to speak of. Hank Smith, 3 for 11 to lead the way. Terrell Mason, 1 for 3. Hollis Mathis, 3 for -1. Tim Smith, 5 for -2. On the other side, Dontre Jones had a nice first half, 9 for 27. Fisher, 8 for 45. And Coney, 1 for 1.
One of the things we neglected, it's been such a cleanly officiated game, Sean.
It has.
You mentioned the officials tonight. The referee is Steve Hall, the umpire is Mike Rollins, the line team is Dan Robert, the line judge is Dean Poole, the back judge is Kevin Wambach, and the side judge is Mike Miller. So kudos to them so far. First half, knock on whatever this is in the first half.
So this second half will begin with Penn Hills set to kick the football away to Central Catholic. 10-8. Winner moves on to Heinz Field next Saturday for the state championship, second ever. 6A championship game. By the way, we do want to apologize if anyone had technical difficulties with our website earlier. Trying to have those squared away. I hope.
I do have to tell you, my favorite kicker in the WPIL, at least on kickoffs, is Penn Hills, number 77, Kyrie Van Alstyne. 6 foot, 280 pounds. Let's see if he can get in.
Van Alstyne kicks off for the Indians. Down to the 20-yard line. The Indians will there close quickly. Central Catholic will get things started.
Third quarter will begin.
It looks like about their own 30-yard line.
Central Catholic had turnovers on its first 2 drives of that first half, Johnny Lee, but then
Not a lot of stats reported for the first half. 10-8 is the score. Central Catholic Vikings
right at the 30-yard line.
in the lead. The Indians 11 net yards rushing. Central Catholic 93 net yards rushing. Both teams with 78 yards passing. Central Catholic has 2 more on the scoreboard. Fisher from his own 30. Jones does a counter to the left. Indians are there. He'll lose 3.
That'll be about a 4-yard loss.
Penetration from their defensive front. Once again, Central Catholic trying to go off the left side. Interior lineman for Penn Hills, Ward, able to blow that out. First down on the opening series here.
Second and 14 now for the Vikings.
Fisher getting a play call. Play clock at 10.
Fisher set to receive the shotgun snap. Gets the snap.
Fisher throws left side to pass. Incomplete. Was intended for Gavin Thompson. There's a penalty flag. Are they going to call Hardy for pass interference?
Right there on the intended pass for Thompson. It'll be a holding against Penn Hills defensively.
The Indians are going to be called for holding. Hardy pleading his case.
Hardy talking to one of the officials. He was in coverage on Thompson. As a result, it makes it a 2nd and 5.
Be 2nd and 5.
Ball now at the 35-yard line. Pistol formation again.
Jones takes a handoff. Fisher had a little trouble on the snap.
Daryl Mason in on that stop.
Jones will pick up 4. It'll be 3rd and a yard for the Vikings. Expect Fisher to keep it himself here.
Weathers out with a foot injury that he suffered against Penn Hills the first time. He was the top running back for this Vikings squad. Actually moved from receiver to running back. Was terrific at both positions. His services, 3rd and 1.
Jones
Goes up the middle.
is going to get stuffed. Fights his way ahead. The Indians unable to bring him down. The ball is loose. He's probably down on the play.
Looked like Jones just rolled up right at that first down marker, but he was
Jones was fighting his way ahead, lost the ball, but the Vikings do recover it. It's a 4-yard pickup. Fisher, bootleg, right side, has some room, has a first down. He gets inside the Penn Hills 40 to the 39. 17-yard pickup for Fisher.
for about a 16-yard gain.
Good little fake by Dante Jones. Kind of sold the fact that there was going to be a direct snap to him, and Fisher takes the snap, goes the other way, and picks up substantial yardage into Penn Hills territory.
Ball at the 39 to be exact. Fisher out of the pistol, has 2 receivers to the far side of the field. Ball snap for the near hash. Hands off to Jones, it goes up the middle.
Jones fights his way ahead close to the 45. They're going to mark him at the 35. They're going to mark him at the 36-yard line. They'll pick up about 3.
First down play.
Coaches constantly talking to the young sophomore about ball security as he goes between the tackles.
Central Catholic going left to right as we see it, clad in the dark blue jersey with the white numbers, the white pants. Jones gets the handoff again. This time he's drilled in the backfield to
Jones will get dropped by Jordy Boswell for a loss. Back to the 38-yard line. Loses 2. And the Vikings now with a 3rd and 9.
Makes the 3rd down scenario 9 yards to go now for the Vikings. Ball at the 38. Fisher with 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side.
4 receivers set for the Vikings. Big David Green to his right. Green 6'2", 265 pounds. It's a lineman with a running back's number. Fisher keeps it himself behind the blocking of Jones inside the 30, has the first down. He'll get down to the 24-yard line, picks up 14.
Side for the pistol formation for the Vikings. Gets a snap.
Jones loses the football. The Indians fall on it at the 25.
It's Boswell on the recovery at the 25-yard line. He talked about ball control.
Jordy Boswell comes up with it. The Vikings having trouble holding on to the football. Have a nice drive. Ended with the turnover. The Indians take over at their own 25 with 7:49 to go here in quarter number 3. That was the 8th play of a drive, which began at their own 30-yard line to start the half. They had taken over 4 minutes and were marching their way methodically down the field. I'm guessing the cold weather having something to do with the inability to hold on to the football. Mathis throws right side, pass complete. Major looks for somewhere to go, spins, and they'll lose a yard on the pass play. So it'll be 2nd and 11 from the 24-yard line now. Indian offense just has not been able to get things going. They've had one drive there before the end of the first half for their touchdown. And they trail 10-8 here with 7:15 to go on a running clock.
Indians facing a 2nd and 12 ball, 24-yard line, down by 2 points. Just over 7 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter.
Hardy, deep in the pistol, will come out in motion, going to the right. Tank Smith stays in the block. Mathis straight drop, throws near side. Major bobbles the football and holds on to it at the 34-yard line. Going to mark him at the 33, picks up 9. Central fans don't like it. It was a clean. It wasn't a clean catch, but it was a catch. Dan's under. The ball popped in the air, and as he was lying on his back, caught the football. And it'll be 3rd and about 3. Empty back, empty set for the Indians. Tim Smith goes in motion to the right. Play action to him. Throwing downfield to her man. And as a penalty flag comes in as the hit on Cephas went to his head. Let's see if they call interference or the unnecessary roughness. And once again, the Central faithful not liking the call. It's going to be a personal foul call against the Vikings. So it was the blow to the head that was flagged, not the interference. Personally, I think it was kind of a ticky-tacky call, but the officials are going to make that all the time. Ball moved out to the 48-yard line of the Indians. They have a first down following the personal foul penalty of the Vikings. Mathis under pressure, throwing down the sideline, has a man wide open, and Daquan Hardy drops the football. He had it at the 20-yard line, started to run before he had it, but he was wide open. I'm sure the Central Catholic coaches are wondering how he got so wide open. But in a game like this, you need to make that catch. Tank follows a blocker, a Porter up across the 40, loses the football, and the Vikings have it at the 30-yard line. Second fumble of the game for Smith. So the Indians return the favor on the fumble. Turnover coming with 6 minutes even to go in the third quarter. Central Catholic takes over at the 32.
Teams with the turnover on their first drives of this third quarter. As the Vikings now have it back at the 32-yard line.
Tank was a rumbling too, and he lost control of the football. Jones for 2.
Maybe a 1-yard pickup. It's Jones again. Jones, we've seen about 90+% of the time taking the snaps as the running back for Central Catholic tonight. Probably maybe see a little bit more for, but nonetheless, this is the state that this running game is in right now with the injuries for Central Catholic. Jones has been Troy Fisher himself. Second and 8 ball to 34.
Fisher with the play action, looking downfield, has a man behind the defense, caught at the 30-yard line, inside the 20. 10-5, touchdown, Central Catholic. Gavin Thompson hauls in the 66-yard pass. And the Vikings extend their lead now 16-8. Once again, of Central Catholic Viking getting behind the Indian defense on the long pass.
Touchdowns through the air for Central Catholic. The first one 75 yards. And now
An extra point here to try to make it a two-score game.
To try to extend this lead to 9.
Low snap. Kick is up. Now Palco's kick is good. 5:11 to go, third quarter. Central Catholic 17, Penn Hills 8. You're watching the WPIAL Semifinals here on the Trib High School Sports Network. Yeah, you got to make those catches and hold on to the football. So that's a good crowd for the Indians. The home faithful coming here tonight.
Central Catholic offense has looked alive at times tonight. 2 big touchdowns from Troy Fisher. First time to Corey Thomas, most recently to Gavin Thompson. As a result, the Vikings hold a 17-8 lead with 5:11 remaining in this third quarter. I'm Sean Myers alongside Johnny Lee here at Fox Chapel. We talked about the big play threats from Penn Hills. It's really been the Vikings.
Well, the Vikings turn the fumble into 6 points the other way. 68 yards in 2 plays. The 66-yard pass to Gavin Thompson from Troy Fisher, his second touchdown pass of the game. Tim Smith tries to find the lane to the right and does. Across the 40, hit from behind. Nice return by Tim Smith will give the Indians starting field position at their own 45-yard line. So the Indians have had good field position. They just haven't been able to move the football. You have to wonder if the temperatures have an effect on both of these teams, considering all the fumbles and not going on out there. But we're in the second week of November. It's kind of weather's to be expected, although tonight we were having a record cold. Mathis, straight drop, flush, comes near side, looking downfield, tries to find somewhere to go. Stops, throws, pass, complete across the 50 to Hardy. Mathis was heading out of bounds, stopped on a dime, and launched a pass to Hardy. They pick up 5 yards. It was a pretty 5-yard pickup. Really nice job for Mathis to get that ball to Hardy like that. That's a 5-yard pickup.
What a difference that connection made for Penn Hills as the receiver goes wide to the far side of the field. On motion, it's Daryl Mason.
Wildcat, Smith going to the right side, looking for somewhere to go. Stiff arms him in, and Indians have just had nothing going with that play tonight. The Viking defense, as soon as they see that formation, they know it's a run, and they're bringing everybody up. No, what the Indians need to do is throw out of that formation.
Richard Tillman at 320 pounds checks out of the contest for Central Catholic, the nose guard. 3rd and 7 now for Penn Hills. Pistol formation, 2 receivers to the near side. Mathis takes a snap.
Mathis throws over the middle, pass complete, Major. Excuse me, Rick Martin. Martin will be close to the first down. And it will be enough for a first down. The officials move the sticks.
There was Richard Martin who had the touchdown. You might be able to hear some of the boos that's coming from the Vikings faithful sitting in front of us. As it looked like when he first caught it, Martin was easily going to have the first down, and then he kind of ran perpendicular to the near sidelines and ended up going right at that 44-yard line. Enough to move the sticks nonetheless. Mathis, an empty set, 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side.
Mathis takes off it himself. Penalty flag comes in.
Brought down inside the 40-yard line. Brennan in on that stop, along with Brian Dallas.
Usually you see a holding from that point on the field, although I didn't see any Indians nearby.
Penn Hills.
So the march off, 10 from the spot of the foul. It'll be a first down and 18. Ball moved back to the Indian side of the 50-yard line. Clock running, rolling under 3.5 to go here, third quarter. Central Catholic 17, Penn Hills 8.
First and 18, ball back to the 48-yard line in Penn Hills territory.
Smith, straight dive up the middle, has nice yardage, holds on to the football. Get to the 41-yard line. 11-yard pickup for Tim Smith. And the Indians with a second down and about 7. Indians took advantage of Central Catholic playing the pass. Put off the draw play. It'll be Tank. Tank rumbles out across the 35, rolls ahead, gets the treads moving down about the 30-yard line. Back-to-back 11-yard pickups for the Indians. First for Tim, second for Tank. The Tank gets the first down. Indians with a fresh set at the Viking 30. Smith, Tim Smith, busts to the outside, and he'll pick up about 4 yards down to the 26-yard line.
This is the second straight week I've seen the Indians, both Tim and Terry. It seems like they're almost never brought down on first contact.
No, they're very good. 10 more or
So on this side, Central Catholic will call a timeout. 1:44 to go, third quarter. Central Catholic 17, Penn Hills 8. You're watching the WPIAL Semifinals here on the Trib High School Sports Network.
Exclusively on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. High School. Sean Myers.
No, you're fine.
Trib Live High School Sports Network. The lead is 9 for Central Catholic over Penn Hills, but the Indians put a nice drive together, trying to trim into that deficit.
Yeah, they have. They responded well after that big touchdown pass from Troy Fisher to Gavin Thompson.
2nd and 6 up under.
Following a timeout, the Indians 2nd and 6.
Directing traffic has a sidecar, and there was all sorts of movement on that play.
The Indians moved. They weren't quite set. Will cost them 5. So instead of 2nd and 6, it'll be 2nd and 11.
Because of the 5-yard penalty.
Play after the timeout.
He said this team needed to capitalize better on the plus side of the field, in particular inside the red zone. That was what really plagued.
Tim tries to find the lane, carries. The Vikings back to the line of scrimmage. They'll pick up 1, so it'll be 3rd and 10. And I'm pretty sure this will be 4-down territory for the Indians. Don't need to pick it all up at once. It's a 2-score game. They have to get the first score to get back into it. They trail by 9. Tank on the delay. Right side. Will be close to the first down. Picks up about 8. Maybe not about the 23. Picks up 7. It'll be 4th and 3 for the Indians. And there's an injured Viking on the field. 51 seconds to go, third quarter. Central Catholic 17, Penn Hills 8. You are watching the WPIAL Semifinals on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
With this stoppage in the action, it gives us an opportunity to let you know that coming up after the game, it's the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel from the new Trib Total Media Control Center with all the scores and recaps from the semifinals and quarterfinals of the 2017 WPIAL Football Playoffs. Don't miss the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show after the game. It's only here on the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Well, join the round table with them.
I will be in there.
Along with who?
I believe Sean Saputo.
Oh,
So it'll be
man,
Sean Square.
Sean Square. Yeah, I think it is Sean Square.
Roy Brennan, the injured Viking, coming off to the near side. The left arm kind of, or the right arm kind of funny. No, it appears maybe just be a cramp. 4th and 3 for the Indians. In motion near side is Tim Smith. Mathis looks like he wanted to throw back. Throwing, rolling downfield into the end zone, threw this one away. He threw it away on 4th down, and the Vikings will take over. Not sure why on a 4th and 3 they'd go empty set, but they did. And nobody could get open. And the Vikings will take over on downs with 30 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. And they will take over at their own 23-yard line.
17-8 lead. Ball at the 23-yard line for the Vikings. Third drive of this frame for Central Catholic. The first one a fumble, the second one a touchdown on a long connection. Fisher Thompson.
It's going to be a running player, so.
You are correct.
Jones hit in the backfield, and he'll be dropped for a loss back to the 20-yard line.
Penn Hills Indians, who met him behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go for about a 4-yard loss.
Talking about the 20-yard line, Sir Central Catholic will let the quarter expire. Sports Network.
Sports Network. The 6A Semifinals. Winner moves on to play either Pine Richmond or North Allegheny at Heinz Field next week. Sean Myers alongside Johnny Lee after the Vikings forced the turn defensively. Now it's up to the offense. And I'm sure while Central Catholic would love to get more points, they're probably not going to take any unnecessary risks.
Action now moving down to our right. Fisher on a 2nd and 13. Green to his left. Expects Fisher to follow Green on a running play. And there it is. Jordy Boswell will submarine Fisher, hold him for a pickup of 1. Nice defensive play by Jordy Boswell. Indians read the play. They know if Green's in there. Fisher's going to be following him. And Green comes out. Vigliotti comes in.
See how conservative we might be.
3rd and long 12 for the Vikings.
Anger is a great motivator.
Fisher on the quarterback draw. The Indians were right there. Jamel Ward will bring him down. Maybe another yard. And in a 2-score game, Central Catholic taking no chances. They'll surrender the football as the Indian offense has not fared well this evening. Sears and Boswell back for the Indians. Indians should get good field position out of this.
One of these teams will be as well. 10:35 and a running clock remaining in this 4th quarter. Central Catholic holding.
High snap. Fisher brings it in. Indians almost get to it. The kick is high and short. Makes a nice bounce for Central Catholic. Rolls inside the 40 and will go dead at the 36-yard line. 10:14 to go. 4th quarter, Central Catholic 17, Penn Hills 8. You're watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Once again, we'd like to thank our Penn Hills Football Network sponsor for tonight, Sambra Mikesell Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Sambra Mikesell Incorporated for all your plumbing, heating, air conditioning, remodeling needs. Give them a call, 412-241-0195. Mathis play action under pressure from behind. Needed to get rid of it and didn't. And he'll be sacked inside the 25, back at the 23-yard line by Brian Dallas.
guys in the backfield, you would think one as they tried to rotate the pocket.
That's a 13-yard loss on the sack.
I know about Dallas. He said, well, if no one's going to block me, I'm just going to track down Hollis Mathis. What probably is a season-sustaining drive for the Penn Hills Indians.
Clock rolling under 9:30 to go here, fourth quarter. 17-8 Central. Tim Smith on a delay. Gets across the 30 to the 34-yard line. Picks up 11. So the Indians will be looking at a third down and about 12. And there's an injured Indian on the field. Looks like Tim Smith with a cramp. 9:13 to go, fourth quarter. 17-8 Central Catholic over Penn Hills. You're watching the WPIAL Semifinals on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Well, it's starting to feel like winter, but as we're winding down our fall sports coverage, tune in Monday as the PIHL on the Trib Live High School Sports Network begins. You can watch a high school hockey doubleheader as Hampton faces Upper St. Clair, Plum battles Butler this Monday on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. I will be on that call alongside my good pal Josh Roundtree. As again, it looks like they're working on the leg for Smith as he's laying on the turf. For anyone that was listening or watching Penn Hills' victory last week against Bethel Park, there was a really scary moment where Bethel Park senior running back John Delano was last in the backfield. He was on the turf several minutes and take him off on a stretcher.
Tim Smith walks off the field after getting attention from the training staff. Third and 12 Indians. Mathis gets the pass away. Pass! Julian Major unable to hold on to it. He had it in his hands. Central Catholic separated him from it, and it brings up a fourth down for the Indians. So I have to bring the punt team on for the Indians. Mason, line drive kick. Hits it to 40, takes an Indian roll. Picked up at the 35-yard line. And Thompson with a nice return out to the 48. 8:56 to go, fourth quarter. Central 17, Penn Hills 8. You're watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Central Catholic, first down at their own 48-yard line. They have a 9-point lead in this one over the Indians. Jones, a little trouble on the handoff, wobbled it slightly, able to hold on to it. Gets in Penn Hills territory down to the 47. Picks up 5. Central Catholic now in a mode to just try to pick up yards and burn clock. It's a 9-point difference. They have the lead. It's a 2-score game.
Now it starts, so he can take another 20-plus seconds.
Central using the clock. Letting the play clock wind down, and wisely so. Jones cuts back, wrapped up around the neck, holds on to the football, And able to fight his way down to the 45-yard line for a tough pickup of 2 yards. Oh, yeah, the Indians all over him. He just refused to go down. Kept just fighting ahead. Managed to pick up 2. Penalty flag comes in near the line of scrimmage. Just as the ball was snapped. False start against the Vikings. Vikings not penalized much in this game. In fact, comparing to what the Indians had last week, the Indians haven't been either. So now it's 3rd and about 8. Green will move in motion to the right. Fisher keeps it himself. The Indians not fooled, but Fisher fights his way ahead across the 50 down to the 47-yard line. Picks up 3. Big, strong kid. The Central Catholic quarterback, Troy Fisher. 6'4", 210. Tough to bring down. And the Vikings will use a timeout, talk things over here on a 4th and about 5. Clock stopping with 6:46 to go. The Vikings have a 17-8 lead over the Indians. Winner plays the Pine Richland North Allegheny winner. Last we saw, the Rams had a 6-point lead over the Tigers, 21-15. Indians have nobody back. Fisher in, well, it looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down, but I think he's going to quick kick. He is the punter, and that he does. With nobody back, the Indians are just going to watch it, let it roll, maybe go into the end zone for the touchback. No, it goes sideways at the 2. Indians will take over at their own 2-yard line with 6:36 to go. So you talk about being uphill for the Indians. They trail by 9. It's a 2-score game, and they are now 98 yards from that first score. And Central Catholic need only not let anybody get behind them. Mathis, play action in his own end zone, throws left, Donnie Blue across the 5. The 10 will have a first down for the Indians. Indians get themselves some room away from that end zone. But still, they're at their own 12. Mathis once again throws over the middle, too high for Cephas, and it's picked off. Thompson with the interception. Vikings will have it at the Indian 20-yard line. Turnover coming with 6:03 to go here in quarter number 4.
position to make the pick. Prognosticator here, Sean, but I do believe the Vikings are going to grind their way back.
So the Vikings, I mean, they don't even necessarily even need to think score right now. Just hold on to the football and grind out some clock. Easily kill 2-3 minutes here. Green in motion this way. Jones will follow, cuts it back. And he'll get down inside the 20, down to about the 16-yard line. Picks up 6 yards. Now the Vikings can let the clock wind down close to 5 minutes before they snap it. They need to snap at about 5:15 on the game clock. Clock rolling under 5:20. Jones, left side. In pursuit are the Indians. Damian Brady will bring them down at the 11-yard line. It'll be enough for a first down. Clock rolling under 5 minutes now to go here, fourth quarter. Vikings up 17-8. They're in control.
Walks up to the line to bark out some instructions. Looks like he's going to take an under center snap. He does. Powers it forward on a QB keeper, which is
Fisher keeps it himself for a pickup of 3.
First and 10, but he gets some positive yardage. Typically, you see that on a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1.
And the Indians will use their first timeout here of the half. 4:46 to go, fourth quarter. Central Catholic 17, Penn Hills 8. You are watching the WPIAL Class 6A semifinals here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
With that timeout, I want to remind you to tune into this week's WPIAL.
What do you get a score from tonight?
35 points as we visit with some of the top 35 as we preview the championship.
Is that final or is that
semifinals?
No, I don't think so.
I think you're behind it in the 2017 WPIAL football playoffs. Semifinals here, and 6A winner moves on to Heinz Field next Saturday. And Sean Mines alongside Johnny Lee. 4:46 remaining in regulation. Penn Hills down by 9 and trying to get a big stop here as the Vikings continue to work deep into Indians territory. 2nd and 6, ball 9. Fisher giving some instructions to David.
Fisher working on the helmet of David Green.
I don't know if he's giving instructions as much as trying to make an equipment repair, and now the
officials are going to send him off.
They have some sort of issue with David Green's helmet.
Officials will stop the clock at 4:46.
Get that squared away. Well, maybe they won't. Reed's just going to check out of the game instead. Coming in his place is John O'Rourke.
O'Rourke into the football game.
Fisher will have a deep back behind him as once again he lines up under center. Jones is a good 5 yards, 6 yards behind him.
Jones gets hit in the backfield, brought down by Jordy Boswell.
Boswell again, he has been blown up.
A loss of 2.
Many plays in the backfield, and now another timeout.
And the Indians use their second timeout. It'll be 3rd down and 9. They stop the clock with 4:37 to go in the fourth quarter. Winner of this game takes on the Pine Richland North Allegheny winner. Right now, Pine is up 35-25 in that contest. Here at Central Catholic 17, Penn Hills 8, 4:37 to go here in the fourth quarter. Vikings with a 3rd down and a long 8, call it 9. About their own 11-yard line. I guess here's the Vikings run the football, make the Indians use their last timeout. The Indians have used their last timeout. Run the ball here, let the clock wind down, and then bring Opalka on to kick a field goal.
Right now, superior to everybody 6A, but you know, you get on the Heinz Field, things may happen. We've seen it time and time again. Central Catholic is going to come off a very impressive, disciplined performance here against the Penn Hills Indians.
Green on the waggle to the left. Fisher bootlegs to the right. Looking for somewhere to go. Holds on to the foot. Loses the football. Indians fall on it at the 12-yard line.
And now finally they blow the play dead. I believe Tank Smith, one of the players in there to force that fumble. Fisher tried to break it to the far side on the bootleg. And Johnny Gibbs.
Fisher bootleg. All he had to do was hold on to the football. The Indians put a helmet on it. And the Indians recovered at the 13. So now the Indians with an opportunity. No timeouts, 4:26 on the clock. 88 yards from the first of the two scores that they need as they trail. Mathis keeps it himself across the 15, down to the 17-yard line, picks up about 4. And the Indians need to move quickly. Mathis throws left side short. Was intended for Cephas. We haven't seen Cephas catch one tonight, have we? Clock stops, 3:59 to go. The Indians with a 3rd and 6. Mathis. Pass was intended for Cephas. He did not hold on to it. And that'll bring up a 4th down.
Break that one up. Bring up 4th down. 4th and 5, and the Indians probably going to have to go for it here.
They do have to go for it.
Deep in their own territory at the 18-yard line, the offense stays out there. Need to keep this drive going to keep any hope alive. Out of the pistol, 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Has some time now.
Mathis with some time throws over the middle to pass. Tipped was intended for Hardy, but Anthony Costa got his hand on it, tipped it away from him. The Vikings will take over with 3:50 to go here in quarter number 4. I know, have it at their own 18-yard line. Well, I'm not so sure that even matters much. Not quite close enough to take knees yet. But for all intents and purposes, this one is over. Barring some sort of miracle, a turnover and a run back. Jones tries to cut to the right. The Indians are there. He'll get down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Picks up about 4 Indians now going for the ball. Indians can't stop the clock. Officials not in any hurry to start the play clock. Well, that gets started. It'll
very strong duct tape tonight. Gorilla tape, maybe.
Well, the officials reset the play clock now. So the Vikings milked the clock down, then they had to stop it to get the equipment off, so they reset the play clock again. The Vikings should have been getting the snap off at about 3 minutes. Well, it looks like they have reset the play clock to be correct. The Vikings take a delay of game. Oh, no, they take a timeout, not the delay. They'll use a timeout. They'll stop the clock with 2:57 to go. And they'll have a second down and 6.
And the District 6 high school football playoff game. That's here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
So it would appear the Vikings are heading to Heinz Field next week.
District 6. Ligonier Valley, in particular. A team that's actually in what typically would be the WPIAL boundaries in Westmoreland County, but they play in the Heritage Conference.
I'd like to thank all of you for watching tonight's game. Especially like to thank the Trib Live High School Sports Network for allowing us to stream the game live to you. It appears well worth their while by the amount of viewers we've had tonight. Jones. Send up at the line. Pass shell will drop him. He was wrapped up at the feet by Boswell. Gets maybe a yard.
Type of game I think that Central Catholic wanted to play. Get some early leads, and they did so in a couple of big plays and then let the defense do the rest.
And the Penn Hills faithful made their way to the exits. Jones again tries to cut to the outside. Gets nothing there, but more importantly, holds on to the football. And the Vikings let the clock wind down. What do you do on fourth down? You bring in the field goal unit, or you just run it? Hold on to the football, give the Indians the ball back deep in their own territory with no time and down 2 scores. I think that's the safe play. You don't bring the kicker on and then risk having it blocked and run back. Vikings snapped it with 15 seconds left on the play clock. I'm surprised, but they've gotten enough for a first down. Fisher would not be brought down. He's been that way all night. The kid's huge. Vikings now could take knees and kill this clock. They have the ball at the 1. And they do go into the championship formation.
They want to try to get a little bit more momentum heading into next week. Fisher under center.
Fisher takes a knee. Clock rolling under a minute. The Vikings will be heading to Heinz Field next Saturday to take on what appears to be the Pine Richland Rams. Vikings led 10-8 at the halftime. At half. 2 long touchdown passes by the Vikings tonight. The difference, 75-yarder and 66-yarder. 2 plays, the difference in the game. And that'll do it. Vikings take a knee and everybody starts heading to the 50-yard line. Game clock winds down. And it is now official. Game over. The final score, Central Catholic 17, Penn Hills 8, in a close contest. Again, the Vikings went up 7-0 in quarter 1. Corey Thomas hauled in a 75-yard pass from Troy Fisher. Touchdown coming with 4:14 to go in quarter number one. The Vikings are up 7-0. With 10:06 to go in quarter number two, the Vikings were able to get a 37-yard field goal. Excuse me, from Jonathan Opalco. Just got over the crossbar. The Vikings went up 10-0. But with about a buck and a half to go before halftime, the Indians put a long drive in. Rick Martin, a 13-yard pass, a nice reception on the 4th down. Indians get the 2-point conversion. They trail at the half, 10-8. A game with a lot of fumbles, a lot of turnovers, loose footballs on the night. Starting half number two, the Vikings fumbled, Indians recovered. The Indians fumbled, gave it right back. 2 plays later, 66-yard pass. Gavin Thompson gets behind the defense, hauls it in from Fisher. The Vikings go up 17-8, and that's how the third quarter ended, and that's how this contest comes to an end. Vikings move to 10-2 on the season. The Indians fall to 8-4. So we'll wish best of luck to the Vikings next week. Not at Heinz Field, but we'll congratulate our Indians and the new coaching staff. Coach John Ladon and his crew took over this season. Took over a team that did not make the playoffs last year and brought this team to the 6A semifinals. Nothing but good things as we look ahead for the Indians. The Vikings, they're going to keep playing. So as the Indians say their traditional end-of-game prayer, we'll sign things off. Another season ends here on the Penn Hills Indians Football Network, but the Trib Live High School Sports Network will continue. Make sure you join them next week on the highway to Heinz. Don Rebel and the crew for the Trib Live High School Scoreboard Show will be coming up on their network and from radio stations around the area. Make sure you tune them in. We thank you for joining us here. I'm Bill Navarre of the Penn Hills Indians Football Network. Once again, thanks for Trib Live for putting us on tonight and allowing you to watch this contest. Again, the final score from Fox Chapel High School. The Central Catholic Vikings move on to Heinz Field. They defeat the Penn Hills Indians by a score of 17-8. Thank you all for watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network. We'll see you all next season.
Central Catholic will be looking for its 7th WPIAL title, 2003, 4, 2007, 13, 15, and 16. For the Vikings, they will play either number 1 Pine Richland or number 5 North Allegheny. At last check, it was 41-25 Pine Richland, so that one just entering the 4th, far from decided. But if it does turn out to be the top-seeded Rams, certainly a game that the Vikings will want some redemption in.
Yeah, they will, and they know, and it's not often down at Heinz Field that Central Catholic will go in as a decisive underdog in a football game, but everybody has been an underdog this year when they're playing the Pine Richland Rams, and you know, they are one good football team. I remember starting this season when they had the Sunday game against Wayne, Ohio, and